What is going on, everyone? Good night. How y'all doing? I'm in the dark because I'm very behind on everything. I was taking a nap. It was a long day. So yeah, still just getting a couple things ready, but figured I'd just jump in, get all set. Can't see me. What's up, Katie Land? How you doing tonight? I saw you in the stream yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to say hi, so I'm saying hi tonight. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Yep, sleepy as always. Well, I think that's what I'm still sure that yeah, that's what Discord still says is I ain't saying I'm awake, but I'm here. So that is still the case. All right. So up by night tonight. Oh, nice. You're working on your Dungeon 23 as well. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad. That's what we're working on. I gotta turn on the music. Hey, there we go. What is a tavern without tavern music, right? All right. So before we jump into everything and get moving on what tonight's Dungeon 23 adventure is, I have two things. So the first one is the fact that right up there, oh, my hand phases into the ethereal plane when I do that. So right above me, you can see the chat board there. Still says OpenD&D, and you can see the DM up there is no longer shouting OpenD&D. Now, why is that? Well, that is because we won. That's right. If you're not fully following, if you weren't fully following everything that went down in this crazy month that we had here in the D&D community, Wizards of the Coast was attempting to, man, were they attempting some greedy things, and the community pushed back. We all banded together, and guess what? Right there, hashtag we won. Oh man, what a what a victory this was. And you know what? It's one of those things that makes me really proud to be a part of this community, to be able to have, a voice in the community to any degree. I mean, I'm, just one voice out of thousands, 15,000 to be exact. Let that be known. 15,000 people were definitely there in the chat, in the survey, filling it out, letting them know, and 90% of people disapproved. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just super elated about it. I was out at Kohl's shopping with my wife whenever she whenever I got the news, and we were up in like the perfume Sephora department, and I was like jumping around, and she's like, she's like looking over at me, and I ran over. I'm like, Hasbro and Wizards back down. They're not deauthorizing the OGL. And she's like, will you calm down? She's like, we are in public. And I started rattling off the facts, and the cashier was looking at me like, oh, we got a numbers man over here. And I was like, ma'am, you do not understand the month I have had. And that is the reality of it. Is it was just a month. I think Matt Mercer said it best. Let me pull up his tweet, because it was hilarious. Matt Mercer. Why can't I find Matt Mercer just by Googling him on Twitter? There he is. Yeah, here's the tweet. Let me go ahead and remove that. Somehow it's still just January. that was such a crazy moment. So yeah, it was awesome. We all worked together, and yeah, we won. So we let Hasbro and Wizards know that, you know, we won't be walked on, and that we know what is best for this community. You know, the community knows what's best for it. And the reality of them putting the SRD 5.1 into Creative Commons is, you know, they took so many steps backwards in all of this when they lost so much favor with the community. But in action, since they never fully got to the point where they could publish the new OGL, the fact that they have put the SRD 5.1 into Creative Commons is just such a monumental change, because now we have the opportunity to make all kinds of content for 5th edition. And I forget who it was. It might have been Mike Shea from Sly Flourish. I was listening to his show today. It might have been someone else. But the reality is because of this, because the SRD 5.1 was put into Creative Commons, that essentially establishes the 5th edition version of Dungeons and Dragons as its own RPG system. So it is Dungeons and Dragons. There's no denying that, but Dungeons and Dragons is a brand. It's a very specific IP. The fact that the SRD 5.1 is now its own thing that derivative works can be made out of, that means that 5e is more of a system now. It's its own system. And I think that's really cool, because when you have stuff, you know, like this, or if I just switch to the right camera, why don't I have that camera? I gotta copy something. That was funny. Where we at? Here we go. Yeah. So, because of all this, something like what Kobold Press has been doing already for a while, right there, that could be like the new standard logo, not just like D&D, but, you know, 5e adventures. And I've been wanting that to be a thing for a while. Like, I've wanted 5e to just be its own thing. People reference it as such. So I'm really hoping that because of this, things really take off in the community. You know, here's hoping. But I think beyond that, should probably get into the core of tonight's stream, as my Mondays usually are. I play 5e rather than D. Yeah, well, and that's it. Yeah, you know, D&D is definitely the brand. And he was pointing out, it may have been, I think it was Michael Shea from Sly Flourish, that he was going to try and not refer to third-party publishers as third-party publishers, but now start referring to them as 5e publishers or RPG publishers, as it is, that there are people who publish for tabletop RPGs, there are people who publish for 5e, and Wizards of the Coast is a 5e publisher. They're not a first-party publisher. I mean, let's be real here. There is probably more campaigns and content being ran out there that is from the third-party community than there is main core first party. So just looking at, you know, Wizards of the Coast is a 5e publisher, same as Elven Tower, same as, you know, Morvold Press. I mean, God, I could go down the whole list of all of my stuff, and all of these creators that I have like their adventures and everything, but like that's kind of the point, is like they're all 5e publishers at this point. The distinction, I believe, is now further whittled down because we can now make derivative works. So but yes, again, gonna go ahead and jump into tonight's stream. So for those who have not been following along since the beginning of January, this is Dungeon 23. So it is a it was created by Sean McCoy. He tweeted out, 1 room a day, 12 floors, 1 mega dungeon, 365 rooms. So this was the challenge for the year of 2023, to make a mega dungeon. So with mine, I decided to base my first my first floor, and tonight we'll kind of reveal the general theme of everything. But so my first floor, sector 1, is the stars. So we have 7 rooms that are all somewhat representative of a constellation of some kind. Oh, I just spoiled it a little there. Then we had sector 2, which was somehow my dungeon seems to be taking a fish call theme. That's awesome. You know what, Katie? Funny enough, if you join the Discord, which is above me, or if you're when you're watching the stream, right below, there's a button to join it. There's actually a member in there by the name of Nacho Man, who is also working on some fish themed stuff. We were just talking about Kuatoa and Sahuagin. We were talking about the Lokata, the Tritons, Sea Elves. He was talking about a beholder that enslaved an entire group of Kuatoa and is using their creation magic for stuff. So there may be some kindred spirits over there in the server. So floor sector 2 of this floor is cold, so everything in there, it's negative 50 degrees, and for every time somebody enters a room and for every hour within this floor, a con save needs to be made to stave off the exhaustion. Sector 3 is darkness. An innate magic holds the sector. Those who can see through magical darkness are limited to a 10-foot range of dim light, whereas everyone else is blind, with the only light being from an orb that absorbs all fire and light and even magical light. So that was where we are at, and this week we are on to Sector 3, Silence and Solitude. Now, when I first started this, I wanted to do Solitude. That was actually one of the prompts that was in here. I believe it's a little bit further. I thought it was further down. There it is, 24. But I was also looking through it. I believe Silence might not be in here. Yeah. But I wanted to be Silence because I did Darkness, so I wanted to be able to kind of play off, like, in one sector you are blind, in one sector you are deaf. So this particular sector is going to be very interesting. I don't actually know how it'll fully play out if I actually run it, mostly because of how I'm planning on the whole thing to be laid out. But before we take a step further, I need to point something out. Something that I messed up last episode. And that is that I can't count, apparently. So, as you might notice, over here I have room 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, 20, 21, and 22, the boss room. Now, if you can do a little bit of quick math, you'll realize that's 8 rooms, and every one of my sectors is supposed to be 7. So when I realized this, I quickly, you know, realized where I had made my mistake, and that was when I broke up this T-shaped room here, which then became 17, 18, and 19. I didn't realize that I broke it up into 3 rooms, and I even like had everything separated. I couldn't figure out like why my stuff wasn't all straight. So real quick, you put the all-important 22 into the wrong section. Yeah, it's so 22 is actually going to be in the next sector, but that is going to be taken away. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw a wall from there to there. And that's still going to keep that room the way that it was. And then this is going to change this to... thanks, Grammarly. I don't know if anyone ever notices that I use Grammarly so much. If you ever see that little green circle in the corner when I'm typing, that's what that is. So I have the Grammarly extension on Chrome. So there we go. So that's actually going to be room 18. And then that's going to change this to room 19. This is going to be room 20 now. And room 21. All right. Oh, hey, by the way, those of you that are in the Discord server, if you are over there, give Nightski a tag and say happy birthday, because today is not only my wife's birthday, but it is also Nightski's birthday. So if you are in the Discord, give him a shout out, or if you want to, very quickly, mind you, you can hop over to his Twitch channel, which he just started streaming, and give him a shout out. I'm gonna jump in real quick and say that to him. So, if you want, definitely give Aaron some love, and you know, show him that we all love him. All right, so yeah, like I said, I'm getting rid of room what was 19. And that means that I have to adjust this room up here. So it's not a huge change. To be completely honest, it's not like the end of the world. But what I'll have to do is erase that. Gotta erase that as well. Nope, that's still erasing. And also, for those of you watching, if you don't know what this program is, this is the lovely Dungeon Scrawl. So this is an awesome... oh, yeah, no, that was right. No, actually, I can keep that. This is an awesome program if you are looking to work on your own dungeon. Definitely check this out. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link there in the chat. I'm also going to put that in the Dungeon 23 community rooms in the Discord. So let's go. You know what, actually I can just make my life fairly easy right here. I can just extend this hall down. Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just extend that hall down and then extend that up. Hey, look at that. I solved it. I turned my mistake into an easy win. All right, so now what we can do is we can move the 19 out of the way. We can, oh, and what? So I must have been like ahead of myself, because I didn't even realize that I put the 21 up there. Oh man. Yeah, so like I said, if you are looking to do your own Dungeon 23, Dungeon Scrawl is a wonderful tool. It does have some, it is free, but it does have some premium features as well. For example, the dark mode on there is a premium feature for some reason, but I don't know for sure. Somebody would have to correct me if I'm wrong. I believe in order to save your maps, you do have to have the premium subscription. Again, I could be wrong. I believe that is the case. All right. So yeah, there we go. We resolved that, and that kind of gets us to where we need to be. And I'm not gonna lie, when I realized my mistake with that room 19, honestly, I wasn't too upset. If only for the fact that I wasn't a huge fan of that particular room where it was like you had to press the lantern up against the wall. So I don't know. I'm kind of glad that it worked out that way. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and jump on to Sector 4, designing those rooms. Can I just build it over here to save myself some space? That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, Sector 4 is being built over here in this little nook. All right. So Sector 4 is Silence and Solitude. I also should say, I know I kind of like spoiled it there for myself. The entire theme of this first floor is actually based on the heavens. So with the dungeon starting out with the stars, that is also why there's cold, darkness, and silence and solitude. The heavens, space, kind of the vastness, the void itself, with these qualities, the uncaring kind of essence that is the heavens, in a more literal space, the heavens. So that is why I decided to go with Silence and Solitude. And I will give you a sneak peek, because I'm going to have to scroll down a little bit. But floor 2 is going to that next step. So we have you know, the heavens, you know, what is our earthly bound, what is above. But then I'm going to start going into the elements. I have a big plan for that one where, you know, as you can see, the first sector is fire. So we'll be getting into that one a little bit later. So how Sector 4 is working, way more organized than mine. You know what? That's okay. You don't need to have organization with Dungeon 23. That's the beauty of it. There's you know, there's no rhyme or reason. You write a room and that's it. You don't got to worry about anything. As long as you write something, like Sean even said, even just writing an empty room is better than writing nothing. And also, you're gonna see me do this a lot. This became very important with this particular one. Most of my rooms are not even connected, not even by a hallway. That's fine. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I actually have these down here, like representing the disconnected rooms, is so that if I were to want to run this with a similar group multiple times, you can just say like, oh, this room when you walk, you know, like when you walk into this room 110, a chamber that extinguishes all flames, a room dotted with numerous fist-sized holes. When flame is brought into the room, gouts of fire blast out. So you could be standing in there and you could say like, oh, on the eastern wall, it's connected to this large open area with an icy wall at the end, and to the north is a long hallway with an icy bridge. Even though up here it's not connected that way. This room is basically just a throughway around where these other ones exist. So by not having them connected and not having, you know, any major structure, you're actually freeing yourself up a little bit to have that freedom to build. So it's not a bad thing at all. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Yes, okay. This one though does have a lot of structure, I will admit. I also need to bring up 2 books that I recently got. Believe it is these 2. I'm gonna put these up on screen here in a moment once I get to them. Also, keep an eye out for this. I don't know if I'll actually run the dungeon, but I've seriously writer block. Hey, that's fine. I don't know if I'd ever run this dungeon. Legitimately, I've never run a I've never run like a mega dungeon or anything like that. So it's also beyond my scope if for me to run something like this. So I don't blame you at all. Started a dungeon 23 that's a village. Yeah, that's fine. I'd be interested to hear it. So definitely as you are as you're working it out, you know, share your thoughts there in the Discord. I see that you joined us, so thank you for that. All right, so gonna go over what all of the rooms are for this week, and then we're gonna go ahead and build each one. I want that. Let me select it. There we go. So with this one, Silence and Solitude, an innate magic holds the sector in complete silence. All players are deafened while in this sector. The main central room that the players will walk into is a large circular room that has 6 doors around its edge. So basically there are 6 doors around the perimeter. One of them has 5 slots on it where tiles can be placed. So essentially, imagine a door, and there's these little squares that can be placed down into it. And there is a tile in each of the 5 rooms beyond that one door. So when the players go in there, only one player is allowed to enter. So if somebody is walking into that room, they cannot exit until they solve whatever puzzle is in there. Now, technically speaking, I don't actually have any. If I were to run this, I actually don't have any plans to enforce something where it's like, you know, everyone has to go into a separate room at the same time. But the thing that will be very important is that the way to get out of the room, you have to trace a sigil on the door. The players will need to, yeah, must. Okay, that's fine. So you have to trace a sigil onto the door, and there's a little piece of chalk. And the clue to the sigil to find out what it is in a different room. So the clue to figure out room 23 might be in room 26. And the clue for room 26 might be in room 25. So it gives credence to kind of everyone having to go into separate rooms. Now, this also means that if I were to run this with only 4 players, there might be some issues, but I would probably just like very quickly erase one of those rooms. But most of the time that I run, I have enough people wanting to play that I have around 5 or 6 people. Now, if I have 6 people in this particular one, that is where that 6th person will be kind of the messenger, because each of the doors is see-through, so you can see into the room and what's going on in there. So it does mean that they can kind of pass along messages. So that's kind of a key aspect to it. But as for the first room, room number 23, it's a room with a large basin of some harmful liquid, with a clue at the bottom. So not only is the tile in the bottom, but also the clue to another room. And the thing about this is that if it's, you know, lava, or if it's acid, or really anything, fish sigils, hey, do your thing. So the way that this works is there's going to be a crank on the side of this large basin, and if you want to just immediately reach your hand in and grab it, the music is drowning me out a bit. Oh, goddamn stink bug. All right, hold on. There we go. That should be a little better. So this large basin is going to have a crank on the side, and as you turn that crank, it fills up more and more and more. So with every crank, it increases the damage that you are going to take. So if we say, for example, that when you first start out, maybe this pool of acid or something deals 6d6. Okay, let's just say 6d6 points of damage. Okay, you reach your hand in and you have to make a dexterity saving throw, and I'm gonna say this this comes from my recent my recent jaunt into Pathfinder, multiple levels of success. So something along the lines of make a dexterity check. If you critically succeed, you are able to grab the clue box or whatever, however it's organized in there. You're able to grab that thing out and get out of there. You know, you're able to get it out of there. If you succeed the check, you're also going to take half damage. You're going to take half damage regardless. If you succeed the check, you're going to take half damage, but you have to pull your hand out because it's already kind of, you know, it's already too much. If you fail, you take full damage and you have to take your hand out. And if you critically fail, I don't know if I'd make it below like 10 and below or 5 and below. I haven't figured that one out yet. And probably I'd figure it out when I run this. But if you critically fail it, you take double that damage. So that large basin, you're reaching in and you have to deal with it. But like I said, every crank fills up the basin. Now, the key thing to this is if you have never heard of a Pythagorean cup, that is the core concept behind this. Pull up the picture here. There we go. So the idea behind a Pythagorean cup is that when you fill it, there is a hole in the bottom. Well, here we go. So this is a Pythagorean cup, and the way that it works is this would be your basin, and this liquid in here, this wine, you know, acid or so, when you fill it up, it creates a vacuum, or I mean, it creates a seal right here that doesn't allow it to immediately flow out. But the moment you get the liquid above a certain point, then it creates a siphon that sucks all of it out. And the idea behind this cup, it was designed to be for those greedy, wine drinkers that would pour too much into their cup at one time. So it was supposed to be something for like moderation and whatnot, to make sure, you know, your cup doesn't run over. because it would be a big prank. You know, you fill too much of it and all of a sudden it's spilling out on you. So that's the entire design of this particular puzzle, is that you actually have to crank it up the whole way to the point where it would spill over, because once it hits that critical mass, then it siphons out into a harmless canister that's underneath or something like that. So that's the main idea behind this one. So it's a Pythagorean cup. Room 24, a room with various pieces of furniture and a large mirror. Now, I've actually run this one before in one of my very first campaigns. Back in the day. I just swear to God, my dog was in the room. So the way that this one works is there is a lot of furniture kind of spread about this room, and it's in different kind of erratic places. There's not really like a rhyme or reason to where stuff is. But when you walk into the mirror, the player will see that the room is actually decorated and organized in a very specific way. And the player has to actually rearrange the furniture in the room to the way that it is in the mirror. But what they will find as they're moving stuff around the room is they'll find the clues to another room's sigil. So there might be like some marking under the couch that as you're moving it, you'll see that. But you wouldn't see it in the mirror because there's maybe a nightstand next to it. But once you have the room fully furnished to the way it is in the mirror self of the player will actually go over to a drawer, open it up, and show that the tile is in there. Now, if they try to open up that drawer at any point prior, it's not in there. This was kind of taken from from the Harry Potter movie. It was like the very first one. I think it was the Philosopher's Stone, where he's looking in the mirror and he sees that he has the Philosopher's Stone in his pocket, and like he doesn't have it, but like all of a sudden it just appears in his pocket because the mirror puts it in there. So that was kind of the design behind this, is that tile does not show up otherwise. Wait, that fits a little in line with the decanter of endless water, but defective from that meme. I guess you could look at it that way. I guess you could have, you know what? You could have like a Pythagorean cup of endless water where it's a normal cup. It'll fill up with whatever you want, but if you ever fill it up too much, then it starts to drain out and it never stops. It's just a constant flow of water at that point. That would be a slightly a variant on that item. Before I continue, let me grab a thing of water. Much better. I hate it. Mirror self moving around. Yeah, that's one of those things that is it's very unsettling, the thought of like looking in a mirror once you get everything right, just seeing like your mirrored self like walk around the room, look, and just be like, goes over, opens up the drawer, pulls out the tile piece, and then puts it in, shuts the drawer, and you hear a slight thud come from behind you. Yeah, be real weird. All right. So The next room is a room with letters on the floor that must be stepped on in a certain order. So it is a 5x5 grid of letters that has a certain path that needs to be taken in order to reveal the clue. Now, if you remember, I said that this was a big part of what I was doing, especially for these last, for this particular level. Now, this one, obviously, it's, I guess, stolen in a way, you know, from, you know, a certain puzzle, you know, a little prank item. This one I stole from myself, which I probably stole from someone else. This one is actually stolen directly from a book that I recently got called Nerzagal's DM Toolkit. So we're going to bring that up here in a moment. But I actually took 4 puzzles from his, and I really love them. I think they're ingenious how he managed them. So this one, like I said, it's a 5x5 grid with certain letters, and you have to step across them. There is the Hungry Dragon puzzle. Small carved wooden figures must be decorated to resemble a particular D&D class and then fed to the appropriate carved dragon head. The Colored Marbles puzzle, a 3x3 grid with 8 marbles that need to be placed in a certain set based on a set of instructions. And lastly, the boss room. Once everything is done, once all 5 of these puzzles have been solved, you will get the 5 tiles that can go into that 6th door. Now, I've already figured out what the tiles are, and that is that they are the letters Q-U-I-E-T, quiet, because of silence. So, once you get those and you place the tiles into the door, it opens up to reveal a 10x10 room that a series of tiles on the ground that will shock the player when stepped on. So the way that this works is that there will be a device that will be found in another room that allows you to see where the charged ground is within a certain area of you. So basically, the players are going to have to figure out where they are allowed to step while also trying to deal with a Behir. If you don't know what a Behir is, we would go to my favorite website, 5e.tools, and take a look at a Behir. So this is what we're working with. And it is a lightning lizard, essentially. It's kind of like a snake, it's almost like a salamander in a sense, where salamanders can be fire and ice. This one is lightning and electricity. So it has lightning breath, it can swallow you, it can constrict you. It is very strong. Too many legs? Nah. It's only what would that be? Dodecapedal, I guess. Not bipedal, not tri, or, you know, a quadruped, but dodecaped. 12 legs, or is that 10 legs and 2 arms? I don't know. That could be 10 legs and 2 arms, or 12 legs in total. I don't know. All I know is that I fought one in one campaign that I played, so it's also huge, which is like another crazy thing. So I would probably want to shrink it down. Also, depending, oh yeah, by the way, if you ever use 5e.tools and you want to take a monster that maybe is like really cool, but like would 100% destroy your party of maybe at this point level 5 characters, you can actually click this little button right here and just drag this down, and that changes the CR. which changes the hit points and like your attack modifiers and stuff. So you can see how it, like, the strength goes from a 23 down to a 21. So I'd probably also reduce the size as well. This came about because of stuff like this, reduced threats. So if you wanted to have like a reduced threat Periton that was a little bit lower of a challenge rating, or reduced threat Beholder that was a little bit easier to kill. Yes, so I didn't actually talk about 5e.tools a lot in the past because it is kind of one of those websites where if you know, you know. But recently it actually got a huge shout out when D&D Shorts talked about it on his video right before Wizards of the Coast pulled back on everything. And yeah, nope, that's it. It's yeah, a lot of people don't like it. And you know what, the reality is I get that. It is one of those tools that's like, okay, you know, it says at the bottom, it's intended as an easily accessible digital reference for products you already own. Please ensure you only access content in accordance with your local laws. So it is kind of like very tongue-in-cheek, like you know what's going on here, but honestly, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without this. There's not very many. I don't keep like multiple screens on my phone. Like I only have a few apps on my second like home screen, but the thing is that 5e Tools, I made a custom app for it, so it's a little bit hard to see there, but it's that little blue one right underneath the Apollo one. So 5e Tools has a very you know, strong place in my heart. But I will say, if anyone ever does want to, if you are in my Discord, I'm gonna put this in the D&D and Chill channel. That link is a mirror of the real one. At one point, 5e Tools actually went down, and somebody set up a mirror of it that pulls all the data from it, but doesn't have ads. So if you want to use it, use that version because it doesn't have ads. And it's what I do. Also, go to their Patreon, sign up for their Patreon, support them. I know that I am, because it is one of those tools that I use so much that I was like, I have to back them up. One of the big things that I actually use a lot is their DM screen. So if I'm running, for example, if I would be running my Phandalin 5 game, I can click this. I actually run an instance of 5e Tools in it so that I can, you know, have certain things over here and still reference the entire website. I usually put like my players' maps over here if they're running something, just like yesterday when we were running Rime of the Frost Maiden. I actually grabbed the map from Karkaloak and put that on the right here, but I got all my stuff. I got, if I need to know travel pace, which I need to know that a lot for some reason. Yeah, 100% best website ever. Yeah, no question about that. This is a godsend. Oh yeah, even more so. I put on like in those boxes. Yeah, that's the thing. It's great for just quick reference stuff. Yeah, like I said, I personally use it every single session. I use it all throughout my week. Anytime I need to look up something, I always pull it up in there. I actually have it downloaded. I have all 5 gigs downloaded to my computer, so this way I can access it. Even if my internet goes down, I can still access 5e Tools. But there's also even homebrew stuff, so keep that in mind. If you go to this manage homebrew and get homebrew, there is a lot of content in there that the, you know, 5e publishers use it downloaded too. Nice. Very nice, Katie. All right. So now that we've gone over those rooms, let's go ahead and take a look at what these puzzles actually are. So let me go ahead and put this screen up. There we go. So this is, oh wait, why is that all? Hold on, let me, oh, let me do that. Let me adjust that. There we go, that's fine. So Nerzugal, I keep wanting to call it Nerzgul, but it's Nerzugal. This is his Dungeon Master Toolkit. I have both 1 and 2. So I recently downloaded these. I actually downloaded some other things from him as well, which was the Extended Beastery, 100 new monsters and new ways to get a TPK. And then the Game Master Toolkit, which I think is more system agnostic. I want to say that it's very similar stuff, but it's more in general for like RPGs, not just a 5e supplement. But I know I saved the pages, so yeah, 31 is going to be the first one. I do have an endless stream of resources. Not endless. Money is not endless. All right, so yeah, I mean, we'll take a look at these books. I might do a stream where I actually go over some of these, and I shared a couple of these out to one of my servers. This is something really cool, some random item enhancements, lesser beneficial effects, so you can have some really cool stuff going on with some items. So if we roll a D100 down here, got a 12. So this item, when attuned, whenever you make an investigation check, you roll an additional D4 and add your value to your result. That's pretty badass. I could see it being like a pair of glasses, or like a Sherlock Holmes hat, where when you tip it, you get to add that D4. What else we got? We got 71. While tuned this item, enemies roll attacks of opportunity with disadvantage. So something like that might be, it could be like a sword that has a high mirror finish. So when you go to move, maybe it like flashes them in the eyes or something like that. Or if it's a shield, maybe it's always ready to protect you. Maybe a set of armor, for example, kind of has a bit of a mind of its own, and when a creature goes to attack you as you're moving, it kind of shifts you out of the way. So something like that's pretty interesting. We're gonna jump down here to page 31. So this is where we're gonna start. So we have this room with letters on the floor and must be stepped in an order. And here it is. So the path of many letters. All right, so the players encounter a room with a 25 2-foot, I don't know why it's put like that, but it's a 5x5 room. And each tile has a letter on it that is inscribed. And so this goes from wall to wall, and the only door that would get out of this room, if you were using this in a normal dungeon, maybe you like enter on one side, have to leave on the other. But the riddle says, directly ahead dwells a dazzling display. Or wait, no, where is it? Yeah, here it is. To advance your adventure and avoid agony, you must first find the way out. So the solution is very literal with this one. It is THEWAYOUT. So pretty simple with this one. Technically, it could really be anything. If you figure out some string of characters that you could put in there, come up with a riddle for that. And honestly, you could really do like any riddle if you really wanted to. And you would just have to make sure that whatever the answer is at least, I would say maybe 10 character, like 9 or 10 characters. You wouldn't want it to be super easy. So we'll do a quick search. Let's look up a riddle. 101 best riddles for adults and kids. Oh, that's all of them. Here we go. What is always in front of you but can't be seen? The future. So something like that could work. Change this out for FU, TURE. Again, you could really do anything with this as long as you have some sort of puzzle. But that is going to be the room layout. We're just going to need to do a 5x5 grid. I'm not going to put letters on it or anything, or I might. I'm probably going to put this one at least just for the reference. So yeah, the floor, I would say once you do it, like once your players figure it out, maybe like the glyphs glow, they like light up or something like that. All right, so that was room 25. 26 is the Hungry Dragon puzzle, and I absolutely love this. It's called the Logical Dragons. So the setup of this is there are 5 carved dragon heads on the wall, and each one of their mouths is open, and you have one of every chromatic color. So there's red, blue, green, black, and white. On a table is 5 wooden figurines. There is an elf, an orc, a dwarf, a human, and a goblin. And it just so happens that these dragon mouths are just sized enough that you could place one of these figures in there. But in a box above the toys is small outfits that represent 5 different classes: a fighter, a ranger, a wizard, a rogue, and a bard. And so the instructions that you're given are right here. The red dragon ate a short creature that couldn't cast spells. The blue dragon ate a wolf alongside its meal. The green dragon ate a creature often considered evil, but it's not a wizard. The dwarf used a large axe, and the elf used a lute. The last thing the rogue saw was a cloud of poison, while the orc was frozen before being devoured. The human did not die alone, and the goblin is not a wizard. And by the way, fans of P5, the goblin is a wizard. Iggy is 100% a wizard. Actually, funny enough, I do joke about that. Iggy is actually a sorcerer. So as much as fun that is, Iggy is actually not technically a wizard because he never learned his spells. He gets his magic because of a hat. So actually, no, I'm sorry, I said sorcerer. He'd technically be more of a warlock, if anything. He's getting his powers from an outside source. But in this case, the goblin's not a wizard. But players have to use their knowledge of the classes, the races, commonalities with them, the dragons. So for example, the dwarf used a large axe, so that's probably going to be the fighter. The elf used a lute, so that's going to be the bard. The rogue saw a cloud of poison. So green dragons shoot clouds of poison. That's their breath weapon. White dragons are obviously ice. The dragon ate a creature often considered evil, but it was not a wizard. So out of these races, the two that are often considered evil would be a goblin and an orc. The goblin is not a wizard, so it probably ate the green dragon probably ate the goblin, and the goblin or we know that the green dragon ate the rogue, so the goblin is probably the rogue. The blue dragon obviously ate a wolf with it, so that's going to be a ranger because they have animal companions. The human did not die alone, so they had the wolf, so the human is the ranger. The red dragon ate a creature that couldn't cast spells. That's technically none of them. Fighters can be eldritch knights, rangers get access to spells, wizards get access to spells, rogues can be arcane tricksters, and bards are obviously spellcasters. They all can cast spells. But I get what it's going for. It's either the rogue or the fighter, and we already know the rogue was eaten by the green dragon, so the red dragon ate the fighter, so the red dragon ate the dwarf. So we know the red dragon ate the dwarf, the blue dragon ate the human ranger, the green dragon ate the goblin rogue, which leaves us with the elf bard being eaten by the black dragon, and the white dragon eating the orc wizard. And there we go. And there's a solution. Dwarf fighter, goblin rogue, elf bard, human ranger, orc wizard, red, green, blue, black. There we go. So very simple process of elimination, and this is actually the logic train, or not the logic train, the logic matrix that goes with that. So this is, how you would mark that stuff off as you were going along. But yeah, kind of loved this one. And again, like you said, Stacy, it does take a little bit of D&D knowledge. But I think it's all very surface level. I think it's all commonalities. Like I said, if you're someone pedantic like me, I'm going to look at the one that says a red dragon ate a short creature that couldn't cast spells. And I'm going to look at each one of those and say, it could be an eldritch knight or an arcane trickster. So technically they can cast spells. But it is what it is. So that's that one. So we're gonna need to, whenever we do that room, we're gonna make sure we have a little table with some figures on it. And so now we're on to the colored marbles puzzle. This is actually in book 2. This is on page 106, which I think will let me jump to it. Yeah. So the colored marbles is actually on the same page with the charged tiles. The way that this one works is it's very similar. It's very similar to the one we just did. Basically, there's like a little tray of marbles, and you have to place them in the right order. So it's very similar logic system. The orange is below blue, blue is right of white, black is right of green, and you just have to, figure out exactly where they are. And then this is the final solution. So again, I might make this one where it's not just a little table, but they're like giant orbs that have to be placed around, like, 1 foot round orbs that are on the floor. So we might do that. And then the charged tiles. So the way that this works is kind of like Minesweeper. So if you know the game Minesweeper, you kind of get an idea of how this one works. So each one of these is a floor tile. Like I said, it is a 10 by 10 room. So with everything in there, you are having to figure out where these charged tiles are. So what this is telling you is that there is one charged tile within 5 feet of this space, and that's actually why I said there was a little device. It detects how many charged tiles are within 5 feet and displays it via a small dial that's on the front of the device. So when the players step on to this one, it'll tell them that there is one charged tile around them. Now, they will be able to learn that all these top tiles are not charged. So there won't even, like, they'll see electricity kind of like sparking across the ground, but none of these tiles at the top will have it. This is actually where the players will be able to enter into the room. So this one, if they're standing here, it's going to register 1. So it could be any one of these 3 that is around it. And then, you know, something like here, you got a bunch, and then here you have none. So the idea is going to be to get across the room. And like I said, making sure that you're not stepping on those tiles. I think they had it. Or did they? I don't even know if they put, yeah, they can't jump across tiles. The lightning arcs up and shocks them back to the ground. I don't know. Oh, here it is. 2d6 lightning damage. So that's what they set it up as, which is fairly low damage. If you think about it, that's roughly a 7 on average. So as long as you're being careful and you have you have people moving around, right? I would say the only thing that I would allow is for like you to be able to throw the device maybe like 10 feet or something to someone, so you know, be able to maneuver around a little bit with that. All right, so but I think what I want to do is I want to have the Behir kind of be back in this, like, you know, more in like the back half of everything, and have there be like a pillar here up against the wall and a pillar here, and they're flipped up. They have like shocking orbs on it, and there's an electrical generator that is on the ceiling. And not only do you have to get across and deal with the Behir, but you have to get across and pull these down, because that lightning will be regularly healing the Behir, and it's also the thing that's charging the floor. So you have to go over and pull those down, otherwise you're not going to kill the Behir. So it does actually really incentivize the players to move into the room, because they're not going to be able to do enough damage just from range to kill the thing, because it'll just immediately go back up to hit points. So it is going to be a little bit of strategy employed with this. All right, so that is our puzzle and what we're working with. I'm going to put that over on another screen here, and we're going to start drafting out our rooms. All right, so we need a large circular room. I want to do 11, actually. As weird as that is. 1, 2, wait, 1, 2. No, I don't know if... No, I need to do 12. Is that? Yeah, that'd probably be more right. All right, so we're going to come down here. We're going to do this. So it's a sizable room. And this will be the entrance that the players come into on this side. So there'll be like 1, 2. Wait, how do I want to do this? 7. I guess I really can't do it evenly, because I have 5 rooms and there's like 1. So, oh, wait, actually, I just had a really cool idea. All right. If I reduce this to 10, actually no, 12 might have been the right play. There, 1, 2. Shoot. Yeah, no, I think 12 was the right play. Okay, there, 1, 2. Yes. Okay, so we're doing things a little bit differently. So the way that this first room is going to work, this is where you can walk in and kind of see everything. What we're going to have is in the center of this room, we are going to have a, like, it's essentially going to be like a big column. It doesn't need to be actually that big. It really only needs to be this big, I guess. We're gonna have this here in the center, and what this is gonna do is it's actually gonna correspond to each of the walls. You have to place the tiles in. This is then going to open up, allowing you to go down down into the sector below where the fight with the Behir is. So this way I can kind of have it like off to the side or something. But it'll also allow me to have it based on the size of that room, which, you know what, I need to make it oh, actually no, it'd be like right underneath there. That'd be fine. All right, so this is going to be a spiral staircase. So let's go ahead and... Am I just going to cover that whole thing up? I am 100% covering that whole thing up. Oh, well. Yeah, we're just going to get rid of that. Oh, didn't mean to do that. All right, so let's place that in the center. There we go. So that is our spiral staircase. There's basically gonna be like a large, almost like a glass shield up around it. And then there's the door that the players walk into. So we'll have it as a big door over here. Kind of the same thing. Let me turn snap off for a second. There. Let's move one up there. And one right there. Right there, and one right there. I know they're not all the same size, but honestly, I don't really care. All right, so that is our main room. So that's going to be room 22. Stop it. There we go. All right, so that's room 22. Next up, we have a room with the large basin. So we got the Pythagorean cup. Yeah, let's go over here. So this one. Oh, that's, I don't have snap on, that's why. There you go. This one's actually just going to be a fairly simple size room, just a 5x5. And we'll just place a large... a well. That's perfect. So have the well there in the center of the room. Have it a little bit bigger so that it fills up that space a bit. There we go. And you know what? Let me just do this. We'll have a little crank on the side there. Oh, look at that. Look at that nice little crank. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. Oh, so nice. All right. So the next one is the room with all the furnishings. So this is the one where I got to get a little bit more creative with. Fish in the well. Yeah. You know what? There will be one fish in there. Yeah. It'll be swimming around. It'll be like a little acid quipper. Oh. That'd be terrifying. Wait. Elemental quippers. And then there's as far as I know, there's not. But you know what we can do? We can go up here into filter. We can actually change this to creatures with a swim speed. And then we can change the typing and look for elemental. There we go. So an adult rime worm. Yeah. Black ice spray. The rime worm sprays silver ice. So that's not black then. Oh, it deals necrotic? What the fuck? Ringed by ice and death. A rime worm is surrounded by an aura of cold necrotic magic. At the start of the rime worm's turn, enemies within 5 feet take 1d4 cold and 1d4 necrotic. If 2 or more enemies take damage in a single turn, its black ice spray recharges immediately. Let's crank that up to a bat dare. Still the same. I'd probably up that. That's crazy. As a man running an Icewind Dale campaign, this is actually from the Tome of Beasts. That's from a Kobold Press book. A befouled weird. Is that? I think that's actually just their art for a water weird. Oh no! What is that? That's sick. A blister coil weird? Is that? Oh, that's from Guild Masters. Oh, you know what? No, I have seen this one. I have seen this one before. I can't say too much about that one while Stacy's in here, because that might show up in the P5 campaign at some point. Wait, what the fuck? We have... Why do we have so many different Chwingas? Can someone explain that to me? Explain to me why we need so many Chwingas. Why do I love them all? Chwingas are the best, actually. All right, so a fire-infused water elemental. Yep, I've seen those. Because yeah, that's also from Tome of Beast. Ikuchi. Oh, there you go, Katie. There's a cool fish for you, an Ikuchi from Tome of Beast 2. It is constantly emitting a thick, non-flammable yellowish oil. When it's underwater, it makes the water within 30 feet difficult terrain each time a creature... Okay, so if a creature tries to move more than 10 feet, it can end up getting restrained. So it's basically just a big worm, snake, eel thing. Then we have the Leviathan. Leviathans are, you know, classic monstrosities. They're gargantuan creatures that sink ships. I've fought one of those things. They suck. Nope. Mud Mephits. Yeah, I know they have, ooh, a poison weird. That's cool. Aw, a little rhyme worm grub. Sadok worm? That's an earth elemental thing. The Stormlord. Is that from the Creatures Codex? Yeah. Storm Maiden. Okay. Venom elemental. That's sick. Is that from the... What's that from? Let's look. Servant of the Queen of Serpents. Oh, it's in the demi-plane of poisons. Okay, so it is from an elemental plane. It's from the demi-plane of poisons. I get you. And then we have water elementals, water myrmidons, and water weirds. Can I just say, as like an aside, myrmidons are one of my favorite things. Yeah, these are all the ones from the newest book. But like look how sick that is. It's just an elemental that that's wearing armor. That's basically it. Like, look how sick these guys are. Oh, I fucking love them. And wait, you can actually get a Myrmidon. What is this from? Oh, Arcadia. When unarmored, your AC equals 13 plus dex. You can still use a shield and get this benefit. Damage you take from... Wow, that's actually pretty sick. Huh. I haven't had a chance to look through... I downloaded a bunch of stuff, and there's a lot of things in here that I really like. I've looked through a couple of them, but there's some really cool feats in here that I have to take some time and dig through. So one day I'll get to them. One day. Elemental Trapper. Interesting. All right. So back to what we were on. We need furnishings. There we go. All right, we need a big rug. We need another rug. Need a table. And another table over here. We're gonna have a few statues that are dotted around. Have a chest up against this wall. We'll have a single bed right over here. This chest will be right behind. No, we'll do this. We'll have that up against the wall. We'll move this over. This will be up against there. This will be right at the foot of the bed. Kind of like a little foot locker. I don't know if there's... I don't think I have like a little couch and chairs and stuff. Yeah, there's really not. So we'll just use our imagination for some of the rest of it. Maybe this rug represents a couch. Maybe there's a couch up against that wall. What is that link? Oh, yeah. Yep, Nurse goals. Yep, those are the books. And I'll tell you what, that's actually the main reason I got these. These are pay what you want. Not saying to get them for free, but I'm saying pay what you want. That's actually why I didn't get books number 3 or 4. Yeah, DM's Guild, the DM's Guild, go under there and look up stuff that's like pay what you want or free. There is so much available on there. It is not even funny. So if you are that sure, if you're someone like me who doesn't have you know, all the money in the world, it's definitely worth it. How do I reduce? Okay, yeah, it is. There. Go. Nope. Fuck. Okay, there we go. That's what I need to do. I need to do that like 3 times. Yeah, definitely check his stuff out. I've been looking through it. I really like his stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely the reason why we need to support you know, more 5e publishers. I mean, no doubt. Like, do what you can to support your 5e publishers. You know, I got plenty of books. I got plenty of books over here that are actually, wait, no, I just took, you know what, I say this, I actually just took a picture of this not too long ago. See if I can find this. Bum 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 bum. Why is that not working? Here we go. Yeah. All right, let me just save this real quick. I can actually put this up on screen. Oh, that's so big. This is actually my physical book collection. So these are most of the physical books that I own. Yep, that's pretty much all of them. So we got a couple, you know, it's about half and half at this point. What is, you know, what's 5e, like what's official D&D product, and you know, what's third party, you know, the practical guide to becoming a great GM, Stibbles, the Seeker's Guide, the Game Master books of randomness and stuff like that, the Book of Random Tables, Tales from the Shadows, and then we have a bunch like to the right of Tales from the Shadows is a bunch of just random books by Matt Davids. That is yeah, it's a small little collection. You know, I definitely know a lot of people with bigger ones, but my digital collection, that is where my most of my stuff is. So all right, So I think that's good. I think this room is pretty okay. We'll maybe add a bookcase over here in the corner. Kind of scale that up a bit. Actually, I like this corner one. There we go. All right, so that is the room with the large mirror on one side, and a bunch of various pieces of furniture throughout. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so now what we got? We got the room that is the 5x5. So that we are gonna have it be a 6x5 room. And the reason for that is so that the player can actually... you know what? No, we'll do it this way. Oh, my neck. We'll have it be a 5x7 room. And the reason we'll do a 5x7 is because... then what we can do is we can have the letters like throughout this. Let me find that again. So what we can do is we'll is that no, yeah, we need to change that. So R. How do I... Oh, there it is. All right, so we'll put that there, and then actually do this pretty easily if I just we'll highlight all those, copy and paste. Group that. Move. All right, and then we're going to ungroup each one of those. Ooh. All right, and then we'll just change these to what they are. P-E-S-T G-U-H-Y-U F-W-A-N-O E-H-I-E-A R-T-S-O-N-P. There we go. All right, so this is that one that is the way out. So that, and then we'll have scroll down here, and what we'll do is we'll have a chest on this far side, and inside that chest is will be the that'll be the key. It'll be in there. So there's that. Then we got the Hungry Dragon puzzle. So again, that doesn't need to be in a very large room at all. So don't know why I did a half room, a room with a half section. You know, actually, let's make it. Yeah, let's make it 7 by 5. And the reason is we'll have a table in the center. And that's going to have all of our little, you know, things on it. And on the wall, I don't know if there's actually, yeah, like there's these ones. I don't necessarily know if I want to use those. Haha, you know what? We're gonna use a toilet. That's really funny. All right. So these are gonna stand in for our dragon head. And then yeah, like I said, there's we'll have this be the pile of clothes and like little, you know, little costume pieces. And we really don't need to go crazy on that. You know, we all know what's on the table. And then once you figure it out, it'll open up this little chest that is over here that will have the clue and the tile piece. And then lastly, we have the room that has the 3 by 3 grid. So with this, it's actually pretty simple. What we'll do is we'll make this a 5 by 5 room. And we'll have the this middle part be where those orbs are. Yeah, you know what? Actually, it's easy enough just to do this. Because this will kind of get the point across of, you know, and just say like, okay, you know, it's 10 or, you know, 8 is this color, you know, so on and so on. So that's easy enough. And we'll do same thing. We'll grab that chest. We'll throw it in the corner. Once everything's right, it gives you the key, gives you the clue. And then we have one final room, which is the one that is going to be the it's gonna have to have like a little open section, but so we'll have like a little, that's a half section. Don't need to do that. So I have this little, well, let's say 4 by 4. Nah, 3 by 3. It has 9 spaces. It's more than enough for an average party to get prepped and ready. Actually, no, we are going to make it a 4 by 4 just for balance. Because then we can go 3 over. So we got 10 by 10. And what we'll do is we'll just kind of do what we did before. Let's crank that down to 16. Yeah, I want it right there. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so copy, paste. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum. All right, how many more of these things? Okay, I'm just gonna copy and paste that. Oh no, please do not tell me Scrawl just crashed. Oh, thank God. Whew, I was gonna lose my mind. Man, that was scary. All right, so we're gonna copy that. We're gonna paste that, and we're gonna group that. Because down here is where all of these go. And then group that as well. And we're gonna move that over. So this one's gonna go there. This one's gonna go there. Oh yeah, these aren't even supposed to be there. This one's supposed to be down here. That one, that one. There's supposed to be one there. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then this one is supposed to be... this is supposed to be here. And this is supposed to be here. Alright, I think that's... No. What did I mess up on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, shit, that's why. It's a whole nother section. Technically, the room is already accounting for that, you know, that space at the top not being a part of, like, the main thing. So that gets moved down, then these get moved. There we go. Okay, that makes a little more sense. All right, so we're going to copy and paste this, but we're going to change this to a 0. Nope. Mother trucker. So I need a 0. I have to stop putting that one up there. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. Or no, it goes right there. And I think there's only one other 0, and it's down here in this corner. All right. So this is going to be a 2. Man, I'm sure this is just like fascinating content. Is that a computer program? Is what a computer program? The ones and zeros? No. This is the one that has the charged floor, and this is how many things are how many charged tiles are within 5 feet of it. Yeah, this is the one that's more like Minesweeper. I love Minesweeper. It's been a while since I played that. All right, so I need another 2 here. Need another 2 up against the one wall. Right there. That one. So right there and there. That one's good. I need like 3 of them. Let's grab this one. It's a little bit easier to manage now. Is that one there? All right, and one there. Apparently many folks had no idea what the numbers were about and just did it all random. All right, so now that we got that, now we're on to the 3s. Luckily, not as many 3s. This one should go a little bit quicker. that right above there. Actually, let's do it right there, because that actually is where that needs to be. That's gonna go there. Fucking hell. I was about to say, I swear to God, if it grabs that fucking 2, I'm gonna lose my mind. Alright. Cool. Alright, so we got that 3, got the 2. I know I need 1 down here. These are 3s right there. Then I need 3 bunched up over here. Playing Minesweeper? Not technically. It kind of is the design of it. So basically this is a puzzle where players have to use a device that tells them how many charged electric tiles are within 5 feet of them. So I'm currently setting those up. I probably should just do the X's at this point. Just so that's a little bit more apparent. So pretty much anywhere that you see an X is a charged plate. So when the players walk into this room, they're going to have a little device that tells them where those charged plates are. Some of these are just off center. Yeah. I don't care. All right. So we got that there. This one down there. This is actually supposed to be down 1. Okay. How you doing tonight, Glenn? It's good to see you in here, man. I figured you'd be over playing Getting Over It. I actually need to put another 3 over here. All right, so now we need to do the 4s, which there is not many of those at all. There's only just a couple. So there's one there, and there's one here, and one there. Good night, Katie. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. We'll chat more in the Discord. Thanks for joining that as well. It's always nice to have some good folks around to chat with and hang out with and talk shop and D&D. So what am I missing? Okay, so I'm missing 2 X's up here. I'm missing a 3 and a 5. Okay. So got a 3. This needs to be a 5. And that and that. All right. So there we go. So that's all of those. So like I said, the way that this works is when the players get in here, they'll have a little device, and this is actually how they'll be able to tell which sections are charged or not. And then they're also going to be fighting a Bahir as well. So I need to add this into here. There we go. So that'll let them out into that room. And there we go. So that is how this final section is going to work. So now we must go on to actually incorporating it into the dungeon up there. So now comes the favorite part for my computer. I'm going to group all of that first and then copy it and then paste it. So we're just going to leave this over here for the moment. We'll come back down here and we'll grab all of this. Okay. Hold on, wait, did I seriously put everything on like a half square? All right, hold on. Okay, we're gonna do that. And then this. I think right there. I think that's exactly what we needed. Okay, cool. All right. So this first room, so this we're now going to break up. That is a lot. That's a lot of information. All right, so we're gonna grab this first room, this giant dodecagon. We're gonna place that. Yeah, we're just gonna place it right there. Actually, that is gonna have half size. That's fine. I'm not actually so worried about that. And then this is where it's gonna connect. Oh, you know what? No, actually, yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have that. We'll have that set up like that. That'll work. All right, so cool. Let's move all those. That's fine. All right, so we'll move this. This is going to come down here. And we're going to make sure that we have these like squared off, really. Oh. So that's going to go in the center of the room, and then we'll add a nice little hall. Oh, you know what? I just had the thought, you're supposed to be able to see these rooms from like... So I might have to rotate them. Might have to make them diagonal. That's gonna be rough. Alright, no, we're not. We're not gonna do that. So we're gonna move that to there. Have that go over. Okay. So there's that one. Why did I select that whole area? I know I'm gonna do this big one up at the top. Okay. That, we'll just do the same thing. We'll add a nice little hallway. All right, let's grab this one. This one's gonna be, yeah, this one will be right up here. Yeah, this will be right up here. Let's have it like this. We'll move all these. Then we can just actually have this go the whole way across. And then we'll move this door so that it connects. There we go. All right. And up next, we will have the Logical Dragons puzzle. So it's going to go right there. Oh, I definitely set that off center. Shit. Oops. I also set that off center too. What the fuck? I fucked this whole room up. All right, there we go. That's fine. And this one will have this one go just straight across into there. And lastly is this small little room. I'm going to put right there. All right, there's that. Let's place this in there. Perfect. So we're gonna have to move that treasure chest, because that door is gonna move up. So the treasure chest is gonna move. Oh, come on, don't do that. That's going to move up to this corner and then need to be turned around. Perfect. And hopefully, I don't know if this is actually going to work out. I'm kind of hoping it does. Oh, look at that. That is fucking perfect. So I actually could have had that room a little bit further into that nook, but that's fine. Because now I can grab all of these, group them. Give it a second. It's a lot of data. And then we're going to set that right in there. Oh, motherfucker. That's where it needs to be. I am actually after this. So tonight is going to be the last night that this particular map is what we're working on. I'm actually going to jump over to a new one after this, so we'll just have to you know, we'll start one for each floor, so every floor will have its own thing. And just to show the connection, I want to say there was like a dotted, yeah, an illusory wall. Yeah, that's fine. We know exactly what that is. All right, so each floor a month. Yeah, I mean, each floor is 4 weeks. So every sector is 7 days. Every floor is 4 weeks. So, like, obviously we're not through January yet, but we are going to be, you know, we are going to be going on. So this is room 22. 23 was down here in the corner. '24 was up here. I'm supposed to put that right there. 25. This is going to be 26. Get room 27 over here. Come on. You know what? You go right there. Put that up in that corner. And last but not least, room 28. And there we go. That is all 28 rooms of the first floor of Endyr's dungeon. Yay. Now I am going to do the right thing. I am going to go ahead and save this. I'm gonna actually like have like upload these to the Discord, so keep your eyes out for that. Can't say it's gonna be tonight. I'm already fairly exhausted. But yeah, that's it. So wow, the first floor's done, and it's already, I mean, I'm happy with this so far. I mean, honestly, it's I'm pretty ecstatic about it. And starting off with what we did, you know, where it was just a couple rooms and going into this big circular area, I'm happy with what we have got so far. So, and then next week we'll move into this space, this empty space, and that'll be luckily I can have like just essentially this one file and have multiple maps on it. So oh boy. See, yeah, that's taken a long time to load because of all those characters and everything. So yeah, we'll definitely want to jump to another map. Honestly, it's probably because I have so many instances of everything. Everything's doubled up. But yeah, so there we go. That's gonna be it for that. And then real quick, before we how does it compare to what you imagine? I didn't imagine anything. I really did not imagine anything whenever I started this. I legit had no formal thoughts of what I was gonna do. It just definitely did not. It turned out a lot better than what I thought it was going to. I definitely know that, like, putting a theme on it definitely constrained me a little, because I had to, like, with the first sector, you know, I had to come up with something that tied into the different constellations. So that was definitely something that put some that put a little constraint on what I was doing. And then sector 2 being cold gave me a little bit more freedom. I could kind of explore a bit, you know, come up with different things that would be more like about the ice and the temperature, different monsters that could be in there. You know, like the thick ice wall, I really, you know, kind of love that idea. The darkness one, I really, you know, like I said, I kind of put that constraint on myself to think, like, what are light-based puzzles? And then with this last one, I wanted to just really give myself a little bit more freedom, because it was just a collective of puzzles, but it is going to be up to the players to figure out, you know, how to communicate with one another. That's the main thing. Like, they're gonna have to use some spells, you know, maybe they leave an animal companion out there, and, you know, if they can speak to their companion or their familiar, or possibly like flashing a light of some kind. So it is one of those things where that's going to be more up to the players. But yeah, definitely not the way that I thought it was going to go, but I'm happy with it because at least having some of those constraints really did, you know, kind of allow me to focus. Oh, my eyes. I'd be terrified for some of those sectors for sure. Darkness, anything with mirrors, yeah. So, but now that that's good, I'm going to save that one more time just to be safe. Okay. But at this point, we are then going to move on to, starting next week, floor 2, which is elements. Now, like we talked about earlier in the month, the way that this is going to work is, so far the players have come up this large staircase into the first section, into the stars, and gets into the arena, fights the Gorgon in there, and then you need the 3 keys that are with the bosses. So the ice salamander, whatever the shadow boss there is, and then the Behir. Once you get all those, it'll allow you down into here. And so basically every floor is going to have some octagonal or, you know, some kind of like 4-way structure that is going to be like that rest area. There's going to be like tents, creature comforts, vendors. Basically, it is going to be a little bit more spoofy in a sense. Like, that's basically where the players can rest. They can, like, you know, repair their weapons and stuff like that. So and they'll be able to go like up and down the floors as well. So you know, if they want to go back out and, like, you know, possibly after some time, maybe some of these monsters respawn because of the magic that was instilled in it by Endyr. So that's all gonna kind of get there. So what we're gonna do next week, we're gonna start out, it's gonna have that central room. That's not necessarily gonna be a room tied to one of the sectors, kind of like how this one, you know, this was the 7th room. It's just gonna be its own thing. So and then, you know, we're gonna go from there. And like I gave a little bit of a hint earlier, but next week is fire. So much like the cold sector, this one is where it is, instead of it being negative 50 degrees, it is 150 degrees, which is going to kick in the extreme heat hazard. So basically, every time a player walks into a room and every hour while they're in that sector, Constitution saves need to be made to stave off exhaustion. But the reason why this is the case is that surrounding where these parts of those sectors are is actually a rift to the plane of fire, to the plane of earth and whatnot, because as we go down, you can see that's the subsequent weeks: water, earth, and air. So there's going to be one for each of the primal planes. So what I have so far is room 29, 129, is a volcanic walled room with fire breathing statues and trigger plates. A series of statues line the edges of this room. When certain stones are pressed on the floor, the statues will breathe fire. Then the next one, it's going to kind of open up into there. So it's going to be very similar in design to this, where it's like open, craggy layout. A series of stepping stones over flowing lava with jettisons of fire. So pretty much it's going to be like a few stepping stones. It uses so much movement to get across each one. But if you stay on one for like a turn or two, you start to sink. But there's also jettisons of fire coming up and like magma methods that are going to come up and like attack you. So you have to keep moving, which would then put you in the risk of opportunity attacks and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I did figure out a way to do the for the dates, because I don't want to go Julian calendar, because that gets on my nerves. So we'll have this little gap in between here so that the dates are right. Oh yeah, don't want to spoil too much. But yeah, so that'll be floor 2. It'll be based on the elements, as floor 1 was based on the heavens. So, but you can look forward to that next week and the following 3 weeks after. But that's going to bring us to the end of tonight's stream. So I just want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. We got some new folks in here and over in the Discord, so it's always good to have some new folks around. Like I said, I do plan on doing a little bit of a deep dive into some content I recently got. I got some new books, I got some new adventures, so I want to go over some of those, do maybe like its own stream on that. Can't say exactly when, but I'll probably post that I'm gonna do that in the Discord when the time comes. So yeah, maybe Friday night, but again, not making any. No, I couldn't do it Friday night. Never mind. Yeah, Friday night is not a go. I have an RPG that night. So yeah, I think with that, we're probably gonna call it there. So again, thanks everyone for hanging out. Again, really appreciate the new folks stopping by. As always, the folks that are always here, Glenn and Stacy, it was good to see you guys. So yeah, I will see you folks next time. Enjoy yourselves, and I will see you on Thursday for the first 15. Yeah, that'll be the next stream. So I'll see you guys then. Have a good night.